about my life, talk about the things that I've been through, and y'all get to see a little bit of me, you know, doing what I do best, entertain, sing, you know, do my thing. So we're about to start, so I'm ready.
Hello, beautiful people. We are here with the Rey Royale at the gym spot, and we are going to get right into the superstar's life and find out all the good things about him. So let's get right into it. How long have you been singing?
Well, before we even go there, I just want to say, hey, Quan,
how are you?
They know,
I know.
we know each other personally, so, you know, from singing, of course.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming here to interview me.
No problem.
Talk about my life.
Yes, big things
the
that
things
you
that I
do.
love to do, music. To get back to your question, how I got into music. I got into music, I was a big sports guy at first. And I used to play baseball, football, and basketball. And I remember I was in the 6th grade. And one day I had on my headphones and I was listening to Boyz II Men, Motown Philly. And I was singing Motown Philly. And I didn't know I was singing that loud. And my whole classroom looked like, Ray, you can sing.
Oh, yes.
I never knew you could sing. And the expression on one of the girls' faces, I'll never forget. She was like, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Man, I want to do this forever."
Well, how old were you at the time?
I had to be maybe 12.
12?
Yeah.
Very young.
Maybe 12. Yeah, I was 12.
So it all started from listening to a song and singing out loud.
Well, it started a little before then. That's when it got serious. Before then, I was hiding it from like my friends in the neighborhood because like I didn't think I would be like labeled like a tough guy if I was singing. So I was hiding it for a while, but then that's when I seen the girls react like that, I was like, oh,
yes,
I want to do this for the rest of my life, man. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
So who were your influences at that time?
I have so many, but we'll start with the obvious. If anybody knows anything about me, I love Michael Jackson. Like that, he is the one person that started it for me from the time, like, I got maybe like 10 years old and I seen like the Jackson 5 cartoon, which happened like many moons before me. But I seen the Jackson 5 cartoon and I was like, Grandma, I'm just like him. And that's pretty much like.
Were you one of those kids that had the glove, had the hat, and
the jeans,
imitating him?
Like 8th grade, I was like Michael Jackson. I had the shoes and everything, the little tight jacket. I had it all doing Thriller, like.
So does anyone in your family have music experience? Anyone sing? Was it just you?
Well, my grandmother, she sang in church.
She sang in church?
Yeah, she sang in church. My father, he was like a manager of music. He didn't sing, but he like managed like on my father's side. I have brothers that produce, sing, all that stuff. So you can pretty much say my family's kind of musical.
Okay, so you would say that, you know, starting from 12, that's when you became serious?
That's when I became serious about it. That's when I really, really knew what I wanted to do.
Okay, and when did you start recording?
I started recording when I was like 15.
15? What was your first song that you recorded?
Oh my God. It was called, I was in a group, we were called 617. And it was a local group. We caught a whole bunch of like local fame. And our first single was called I Know.
I Know.
Yeah. And so, man, I remember like the first day, I never was scared to perform. But for some reason, like I was scared to sing in the studio. I don't know why. Yeah. It's so funny because now it's natural to me. Like now it's just like automatic. But then I was petrified of it. Like I just.
How would you explain your first time in the studio?
I was very nervous.
Very nervous? Was your voice shaking?
My voice was shaking. I was like, you know, because the mic, you hear everything.
Yeah.
So you start questioning yourself, like, am I really that good? And then when I got to hear myself in the playback, that's when I was like, oh, okay, like, I could do this.
Now, were you Ray Royale in the group?
No,
No?
I was just Ray.
You were just Ray?
Yeah, I was just Ray.
Okay, so where did Rey Royale come from?
Rey Royale came from, well, my name is Reynaldo.
Okay.
So Reynaldo in Spanish means king.
Okay.
So when I was coming up with the whole Rey Royale concept, I first said Rey Royal.
Mm-hmm.
But my old executive producer was like, Royal is just royal. It's like, if you're Royale, it's much bigger.
Puts a little oomph in it.
Yeah, and I was like, so I thought about it for like a day or two. I called him back and I was like, man, that's brilliant. But the funny part is, it's like people were, by that, when I first started coming on the scene,
Mm-hmm.
people were so used to calling me Rey Royal that once I finally said Rey Royale, they just were like, Rey Royal. So you always heard Rey Royal all the time. So, but I instantly liked Rey Royale once you know, it's always like if somebody writes something down for you, you really can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they say it to you, you're like, that makes sense.
Yeah, sounds better.
Yeah, like it sounded good, and that's what I think I was looking for. I was looking for something that would stand out.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah,
very different.
that's
you
what
don't
I
know
would-
any other artist named Rey Royale.
Yeah.
Which ingredient do you think makes you special and unique as a performing artist?
For me, I feel like what makes me special is like I feel like I can blend the old with the new.
Mm-hmm.
And no disrespect to people that's older, like I don't want to make it seem like, you know, like old, because like I don't really feel like, I feel like you're as old as you feel.
Exactly.
You know, but what I mean by the old stylings is like they sung soulfully,
Definitely.
and it when they sung, it touched you. And I think a lot of people was able to relate to me, now, because reminds them back to when David Ruffin and those guys was singing, like how it made you feel, like, oh man, like this dude's piping, like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't really hear too many, and you know, again, no disrespect to nobody that's doing their thing right now, but you don't really hear nobody like really like putting their foot in it,
Yeah.
as we would say. So I think that's where I separate from other people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy that I can be a stylist and do it one way, and then I can come over here and just pound you vocally.
Yeah.
So
So would you say that, I don't know, for me, I feel like I hear a lot of 90s when I listen to your music.
yes.
So would you say that heavily influenced your music?
Of course. That was the era that I grew up in. Those were the singers that I molded myself behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I loved like Jodeci, Boyz II Men, like Brian McKnight, all that. I feel like I have like so much of all of them, like from listening to what they did back in, and that was like, to me, I don't care what anyone says, that's like one of the best eras in music.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, because most of it was honest. We miss so much in R&B now because I don't feel like everyone's being honest. It's like, you don't care about your girl. I love to sing about my girl and say I love her, you know? But most people nowadays are scared to do that. So I feel like that era definitely influenced me.
Okay. So, if you were forced to choose only one, which emotion more than anyone drives you to stay in this tough business? Joy, anger, desire, passion, or pride, and why?
I like that question. That's kind of tough. I think I would say my desire for it.
Okay.
I've been wanting to do this a long time, and whenever I don't sing, or if I, you know, as an artist, you would know too, sometimes we get in our little funks and we feel like it's not happening as fast as we want it to go, or we get disheartened sometime, and then the blood in me won't drop. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, you'll drop down for that 1 second. It's like, look, you gotta get right back up and go hard, and I love when I go through those times, because once I rise back up, I rise to greater heights.
Rey Royale. Come on.
Do you mind if I sing for you right now? I don't think y'all heard me. I said, do you mind if I sing for you right now? I'm so addicted to making love to you, baby. All night long, baby, yeah. All night long. Oh, girl, you love me, body rockin', knockin' loose all night long. Yeah, come on, y'all sing. The break of dawn, but oh, come on, girl, come on now, turn the lights down and let Rey get on it. Oh yeah, 'cause when I do just for you, it'll be so right, so right, so right. Girl, give me that good love, oh, giving you mountains of pleasure, 'cause I'm ready.
So which aspect of being an independent artist and the music making process excites you most, and which aspect discourages you most?
This could be a whole rant, but I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna kill y'all like that. But the part that excites me is not knowing what people's gonna like. That's like the most, cause you could do a song that really turns you on. Like you're so hyped about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can even use what we're talking about today, my latest EP. Like the songs that I'm like, man, woo! You know, people are like, oh, that's a great. Like, I like this song that I don't even like. Really, that I'm like, oh, that's okay. Like, you know, because again, it's what you like.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like we talked a minute ago, I'm from the 90s era. So I like to hear when I'm piping.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, so, but you know, more people nowadays, they like to hear it when you're kind of toned down a little bit, like kind of like rap singing.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
I think the most disheartening part about being an independent artist is trying to get people to support. And with me, sometimes like it troubles me sometimes when most of my supporters are from another place. You ever felt
Not
that
your
way
city,
before?
yeah.
Not your city. I can go on SoundCloud and look like I got fans in China, you know, United Kingdom, all this stuff. They're sharing the music, buying the music on iTunes, all of that. And then you got the people that you grew up with. It's like, can you send it to me? Like, no.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think Boston's like that?
I'm not gonna say that we don't support each other, because I feel like that's something that's just long drawn out. Like everybody says it at their own little times when they get mad. I just feel like our city's kind of like, instead of wanting to be the first people to be like, this is hot, they wait for everybody else to say it.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's hot. Instead of just being like, this is hot, the world, y'all need to know.
He's from my city.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen.
You know, and then it tips up a little more. But like I said, we're gonna get there. We just have to understand that we all need each other at the end of the day, even as artists. If we're all supporting one another, and I'll tell you, I came from like just a mind frame of just being to myself, because I felt like that was the only way I wouldn't get hurt or I wouldn't get stabbed in the back or anything. I'd be like, you know what, just listen, I'm gonna just stick to myself. But nowadays, with the fact that I get out and I talk to people more, smile at them more, they're more light to you. Like, oh, he's really nice. So I know with me, like, I'm like the nicest guy in the world. Some people would be like, like
prejudge you.
They'd be like, oh man, he probably thinks he's all that. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you finally meet me, you go, wow, he's like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
But it's that's what the downside of like social media is, because if you're talking a certain way about yourself, and you know people will take it like, oh, he's cocky. He thinks, you know, he thinks he's the man.
But it's just like you believe in your
But
craft.
and you have to, because if you don't believe, how am I going to make you believe? Because you don't want to believe. You're programmed. You're programmed to whatever the TV tells you, or whatever the radio tells you, or whatever's hot on TV. So my job is to get you to feel that way about me, the way you feel about Empire or any of those other shows that's going on.
Let's get into Ready.
Yes.
Your new project.
Yes.
His new project, Ready.
Yes.
So how did Ready come about? How did this start? The new project. How did this start?
Like I said, I'm going through a whole transition. I feel like this is a new Ray, basically. I struggled with like weight stuff for a long time. I was so hard on myself, like I need to lose weight, so on and so forth. And I started like really going hard, working out, going to the gym. Once I slimmed up and started putting muscle on and stuff like that, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to get a new look now. Now it's time for some new, updated music and stop thinking in the 90s realm. Because we're not in the 90s anymore.
So something a little different this time.
That people would, when they hear it, they either have two reactions, like, this is great, or like, what is he doing? Like, you know, because your core fans will go like, what? And that's what I was most afraid of at first, but I actually got a different response. I love the way you're going with this. So when I put out the first single, Ready, and Ready came, not really the CD. I want to shout out Mike L. He's a singer from my city as well. He's from Boston. I kind of heard like a few things that he was producing, and he sent me over like a bunch of stuff, and I was like, dude, I love this stuff. Like, and remind you, I said I'm in a new mind frame or whatever. I would have never went in that way before. I would have went the total opposite way. And he's like, Ray, trust me, man. Like, just, I'm telling you, like, do like 3-4 songs with me, man. It's gonna be crazy. And I was like, okay. So we got in the studio. We started vibing, writing together. And he gave me a call on the phone, like, I got this record, man, ready. I'm like, okay. This is how I hear. I'm listening. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it's not even like fully born. It's a skeleton, but I see the way he's going. Then we get in and really go in on it. Then it's done. And I'm sitting there and I was almost emotional. Like,
wow.
Because I was like, you know that feeling like I did it? Like, and for me, I did it was getting out of my comfort zone.
And doing something
and
different
doing something
new
different
for you.
and new. Yeah. And so we put that out. And people was like loving it. A few months later, I came with the video.
So, what made you name the album Ready?
I'm glad you asked that question. It's self-titled for a reason, Ready. Like, I feel like I'm ready now. Like, before, I always had that attitude, like I was a great singer, and like, but I never felt like I was where I wanted to be. Because, like I said, it's all a part of artist development, and that's where a lot of us, like, you know, coming up, we don't really understand how important that is. Because at the time, you might just be like, you know, because me, I'm a very confident singer. So I'm like, you know, I'm very dope. I'm dope. But you have to also understand the other aspects of it. Because the way corporate America is looking at you is, can I sell that? That's all. It doesn't matter how good it sounds or whatever. It's, can I sell it? Can I sell it? once I started getting in that mind frame and looking at this as a business and not just how good I can sing, everything changed for me. So ready to answer your question is I'm ready to take over the world now.
Yes, he is ready, y'all. Okay, so the music video, since you spoke on that, let's talk about the video, you guys. This video was extra sexy, extra hot, extra steaming. So let's talk about that.
Right, so the song caught so much interest in people that naturally, you know, we wanted to put a great visual to it. So I got with my homie Kevin, who did my video, Kevin Shine, he did my video. He did In My Bed, which was my last video. And before that. And I got with him, and I was like, you know, we got to do something like epic to this. Like, but we got to kind of like go to the left. I was like, we can't be too vulgar, but we got to like press some nerves.
Yeah.
People be like, ooh,
like, all right, Ray.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, exactly. we wanted that reaction. So I started to write the script of like what I wanted, and we went back and forth, and then the whole process of picking like a perfect person for it, I feel like it's like the hardest job.
Yeah.
So after like we went through so many people, we finally found Tori. And I had seen like previous work that she, you know, she did like in other people's videos or like as a model. And like to me what won me was her personality. Like how she came across, and I was like, she'll be perfect. Because most people, even if they got a great look or something like that, they kind of like freeze sometimes. You might even know that from like, if you're singing to somebody in the audience, they're like, so we naturally had to get a girl that was not going to be afraid.
No, she's not afraid.
It's not going to be afraid to do anything. And when I say she came on and like was top-notch professional and was ready to do whatever we needed to do, never complained about it, never like, that was like the best video shoot I had.
Really?
Yeah, but I like, and I've done probably 5 previous, and I was like the best. Just like, you know, because there wasn't no complaints, it wasn't nothing. It was just pure chemistry. The chemistry is always important. It was the chemistry was there, and it connected the audience as well, because as soon as we put it out, people were just on it.
Yeah, I seen the first week. I seen about 20,000 views.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, and that blew out any other that I've ever done before. So, that, like I said, you give the people what they want, they're gonna flock to it. And you know, people obviously they enjoy my singing, and I just gave them a type of song that the younger crowd can vibe to as well as the other crowd. Yeah.
So since you spoke about you've done 5 videos previous to this new one, how would you compare this video and the other videos? What's the difference, the growth, and all that?
From a visual standpoint, I mean, I look totally different versus the other ones. And the other one, like, Sex Drive was my first video. And that's another video that I actually love. I actually love Sex Drive. But Sex Drive, it was my first time on camera. You didn't really like, you're kind of like trying to find your way, like try to find your like if I hit it like this, like the girl's gonna like you. If I do my face like this, or whatever, you ain't really found that yet. So I feel like as each video, it got better. It kind of like, okay, yeah, from that angle right there, yeah. Listen, when I look right there in the camera, I gotta hold this face right here, like so when I finally got to ready, it was just like I kind of mastered it all. Like it was already I already knew what to do, how to do, and I really didn't have to do much because the song did it. People were already intrigued by the song. So and then like they hadn't seen me. All they seen was like me probably putting little pictures up on Facebook. But you know, when I posted my live video, I remember I did a live video in this room actually. I did a live video and so many people was coming on there like, oh my God, you look so different. Wow, what happened? I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good. I was automatically, I knew people, they were tuned in. It was interesting. It was news. And that's what the music industry. That's how songs are supposed to make you feel, like the news. We're news reporters. So, and if you treat it like that, that's when you win. That's why Tupac sold so many records. He reported the news from our hoods. He spoke about what everyone else didn't know, that you know that was going on in the neighborhoods. That's what we are. Even as R&B singers, we report. I report love. I'm a love reporter.
It's your boy Du Grand Pana, aka Donito Montana. You rocking out on the Are You Ready documentary with my boy, my dude, my man, my guy, Rey Royale. Alright?
I may not do everything right, but I just want you to know that you'll always be my love. We started out real young, back in the hood we used to hang out. Used to pick you up from the bus stop, 7 days a week at the same time. We would be up late night watching movies, in between the movies trying to give me some. Back then I didn't know what love was, but I knew you were special, girl. I never thought you would. Hey, thought you would always be my baby. Girl, I knew you were special, girl. And you up and gone, I ain't never been the same. See, I just wanna tell you how much I love you. Oh, baby. Oh, girl. Love me like you, baby. No one can love me like you, baby. Oh, baby. I gotta love you. Love me like you, baby.
So I wanted to get into Rey Royale live. You on the stage. Can you tell me how do you prepare for shows?
Can I be honest with you? I really don't.
You don't?
I have to feel it. It's the way I feel when I walk in there. That's where I'm going. I'll put a basis of what I'm gonna do. Like, okay, I have this idea, but don't look for me to execute it. If I told you I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, I might just do C. It all depends on what the crowd is giving me.
Yeah.
And how I feel that day. But one thing for sure, I'm always gonna give you 150. That's just what it is.
So what can your fans expect when going to see Rey Royale live?
Expect the unexpected.
Just expect the unexpected.
If you're a female,
Oh yes, I've seen him bring you on stage.
you might want to stand in the back if you're shy. Because you guys pay your hard-earned money to see a show. And again, it's our job as artists to put on the show. So just know when you come there, you're gonna, because there's gonna be that female who had a bad day in the crowd, and that's what I look for. The one who got maybe a scowl on the face or something. You know, you can show she had a hard day at work. You can tell. You go and give her a flower. Turn her whole day around. Or go and give everybody in the front a flower. And tell them how special they are, because somebody at home might not be telling them they're special. You connect. I'm all about connecting with my fans. You know, I don't even like saying fans, like supporters. I'm all about connecting with them and seeing what they like and seeing what they love. So when you come to the concert, know it's going to be about you, not about me.
Do you ever get nervous before a performance?
No.
No? You don't get butterflies? Nothing?
Never.
Wow.
Never. I could tell you probably the only day I've ever been, and it wasn't when I was on stage, it was after I performed.
Really?
When I was at the Apollo.
Okay, that's understandable.
And if you look at my face, like when they're like talking to me, and I'm like Dougie Fresh is like up in the light somewhere. He's like basically somewhere up here, and you can see my face like just I was in shock. I don't even want to know if I you can call that nerves, because I wasn't nervous. Like I didn't have no butterflies in my stomach, but I was just shocked at watching the Apollo stand for me like they did. A place that's designed to boo you out the building. Like when we were taping a TV show, like it was a whole bunch of stuff going on that you knew, that you knew like, yo, this is the real deal. So that moment right there, I could say that was something close to. I wasn't scared, but it was just a feeling that I never felt before, obviously. So it was a good feeling and a bad feeling, because I'm like, one, I've never felt this before. Two, it's like, this is the most amazing feeling. Like people just standing, going crazy for you. Like they treated me like I was Michael Jackson there.
That's what you want though at the Apollo.
Right. Well, and it's so funny, like, you know, what I got from the good response and everything that I got from that, everyone didn't even, you had to be there to really know what happened. Like those people were like, after I sung, it was like a 5-minute standing ovation. Like everybody in the back was like going crazy. The audience was going crazy. It was just, it was just a moment that.
And you sung New Edition that night, right?
I sung King Standing on New Edition, and to have Michael Bivins as one of the judges, and to tell you that you made the city proud. And have Miss Gladys Knight, have Gladys Knight sing to you, like you're doing, like if I never accomplished nothing else in life, like I said, yo, listen, Gladys Knight sung to me. So yeah, that right there was just a crazy moment for me. So that's the only thing I can say that was close to like giving me like butterflies.
For other artists coming into this industry, what advice would you give them?
I said, you know, with all social media heads now. So I said this on my social media a couple days ago. Humble yourself. Because a lot of people out here are just like, they made it. And it's, again, we talked about having confidence earlier. Confidence versus arrogance is
Big difference.
It's a big difference. And you turn people off. You don't really know, but you turn people off that way. And maybe some of them don't care. But to me, you should be focused more on your craft than anything. Because I can remember the times where I worried about other people because somebody might have been doing this and I didn't do this, and because I felt like I deserved that. But the moment I stopped doing that is the moment that I started rising. So when you check your ego at the door, God's gonna open up a whole floodgate for you. So stay prayed up and work. Work hard and understand that nobody owes you anything. And our job as artists, again, is to create a fantasy for our fans. And so you got to draw them in some way, somehow. And it's not going to be easy. It's not, especially the way social media moves, especially the way social media moves now. It's never going to be easy.
I know that I can count on you. When that's not possible, tell me, can you weather the storm? 'Cause I need somebody who will stand by me through the good times and bad times. She will always be right there. Sing! can change you. Can you stand it? Oh, I know all the days won't be perfect. But shorty, can you stand it? Can you stand the rain?
So if you had to do it all over again, would you do anything differently?
I wouldn't say I would do it. Probably I'd be more smart. Value some relationships that maybe I should have valued a little more. Like I said, been open to more things as an artist. Because you know, artists, we're scared. We're scared to have people around us because we don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because you always think if it's not your family, that somebody has an ulterior motive. Like they're like, okay, well, you know, I'm using you for what? And that's how I used to feel throughout the years of me singing. Like I just felt like everybody that was around me like was there for a reason. Like it wasn't genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, honestly, I probably rubbed a couple of people the wrong way being like that. And not just that, but just not being open. I would be a lot more open. Like now I'm a lot more open to ideas, like not just musically, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, I would definitely do it different because we all go through a transition. I wish my transition would have come earlier, but everything is on its own time.
Everything happens for a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly. I feel like you have to go through something to get somewhere else.
What's something about Rey Royale that no one knows?
I don't think anybody knows how much I love music. Like, and how much it means to me. And that it's not something to gain money or anything. It's like some people are born to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I was born to be an entertainer. You might think like, oh yeah, you know, he does music. He likes it. But they don't know. They really don't know. You never know a person's desire for something. You really never know. And I don't think people will ever understand that unless they have something similar in them.
So, what is next for Rey Royale?
Well, right now I'm running a poll to see what's the next video we're gonna shoot.
Okay.
So I did this. This group of my exclusive fans. My exclusive fans, and only they know about it. Only, well, everyone's gonna know now, but only they know about it, and it's more catered to them. Because I feel like where a lot of artists or anybody mess up is they worry about everybody instead of worrying about the people that really support them and really love them. So that was my way of connecting with the people that I feel really love me, really support me, really go hard for me. And I get in and I ask them questions and I put up pictures and things that I've already done, things that's going on in the future. So right now, I'll give you a little hint. I got it Bad's in the lead.
Okay.
For the next video. So we'll see how that goes. If so, like I said, that's my favorite song. So I'd be happy if it is, but if it's Be a Man or whatever else, I'm open to whatever. I feel like Freddie is like a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're gonna do videos to probably mostly the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and then I'm already working on my next project.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Journey to Ecstasy. So I don't know if people who followed me before. Journey to Ecstasy was actually supposed to come out before I Am R&B and before Ready, but I just like put it to the side because remember everything's a feeling. It's transitional. Journey to Ecstasy is going to be a little more. A little more idea.
A little more idea.
Yeah. A little more like, whoa, like I seen him dabble on the last album into this new sound. Oh, he really went in on this new sound this time around. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody. And about to get an acting coach.
Yeah, you want to get into some movies?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been like, I should have used that as a thing. Nobody knows that I love acting. Like that was like one of the things that I wanted to do as a kid too. I used to I was one of those crazy kids that were like in their room interviewing themselves. Like I would literally be in one chair like, hey Ray, how's it going? And then I come over here and be like, well, this is how I feel. But doing all that craziness made me, when the camera come on me, it's like that.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, I'm getting with the acting coach or whatever, and hopefully, you can see me in I just want to be a threat in every way. Like, oh, he can act, he can sing, he can. Okay, yeah, we gotta get him. We gotta snatch him up. So
it was definitely a pleasure talking to you and getting to know more about the music and more about you. Definitely an honor to interview you here. And you guys make sure you get ready and get ready for Journey to Ecstasy and all the things Mr. Rey Royale has to come. And just stay tuned.
I appreciate you sitting down, having a chat with me, and listening to me being long-winded.
No.
Yeah, and you guys, if y'all want to find Reddy or anything about me, y'all can go to my website, www.rayroyalemusic.com. You can find the Reddy EP or Journey to Ecstasy or all those other EPs. You can find them iTunes, Spotify, it's everywhere. So check it out. And then if you want to check me out, you can find me on Instagram, Rey Royale Music, Twitter, Rey Royale Music. It's all the same.